Hello, hello. How are you, darlings? I hope you are well, because I am not. I am in pain, but that's uh, that's something that shouldn't come as too big of a surprise. Okay, we went to get some groceries today, and I found a few interesting, uh, two, well, a lot of different, very highly interesting beers in this big hypermarket, which is pain in the ass. Uh, it's now this is a lager, a Finnish lager. It's called I don't fucking know lager. It's not like light lager, dark lager. It's not amber lager, amber or black or white or light lager. It says in Finnish there, I don't fucking know lager. Okay? The label says, uh, okay, here, I'm not sure if I should show an example or the middle finger. I don't fucking know. Yes. This is from the Savo area, the Savo region. It's an interesting place. This is made in Kuopio by RPS Brewing. Kuopio is a wonderful place. My brother lived there for 6 years. He studied medicine and eventually graduated, become a medical doctor some years ago. Then this is from the same um, Savo area. It's in southeastern Finland. The you know, in the on the Russian border. You know, just Google it. SAVO. Simon Alpha Victor Oscar. Okay, and this is from Savonlinna. Okay, this is a called Mustan Virran pääsiäisportteri. It's called Black 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 River Easter Porter, 5.5% ABV, made in Savonlinna, which is also a very beautiful city. Katja and I went there last year. This is a Easter Porter, which is a sort of Finnish type black porter beer. Okay. Damn, this is good. The chocolatey flavor. Okay, who do we have in the chat? We have. It looks as if we have 3 people watching. However, I should note that there is only one person to have written in the chat, and it is Pizza. I said, "G'day, mate. Didn't want to miss this one. Been waiting for 2 hours. Well, good for you. Here we go. Okay, let's put the. You've been here for. First message was chat message was 9:27 p.m. Pizza, seriously. Okay. Oh. Stefan is here with me as usual. So fluffy. So fluffy. Okay. So here we have also Miss Bertil, our resident Moomin ancestor. Okay, let's put it there. And of course, we have the little lamb that Jens gave gave us, or me or us, this past May when we met in Berlin. So, the actual beef, uh, this veggie beef, for those who don't eat meat. And of course, please like and subscribe. Links are in the description box. There are two studies, an older one from 2005, an American study, and then there's a study from Australia, which was on the welfare of children and in same-sex, where their parents were had same-sex attraction. That was first of a kind in Australia, and at least at the time, the largest in the world in existence at the time. And I think it could still be the biggest, internationally the biggest, where we had I think 500 children. Yeah, think I think it was, yes. So 300 in the Australian study, 315 parents completed survey completion rate is in this 2014 study was 81%, and the survey filled in or completed by 315 parents represented 500 children. Okay. And by the way, check my Patreon. Link is in the description and in the chat. So that's okay. Okay, and this is from BMC, biomedical. So let's get you. There is it's Biomed Central Ltd, and it's a public health publication. So I have I have the abstract here, and I have the actual study on another tab there. Okay, but the 80% of the children had a female index parents, while 18 had a male index parents, and in the kids in the same-sex parents households scored higher than average, higher than their peers in opposite sex parent families. And that is something that I had seen results like this is something that I had seen before in a few years ago when I looked into this. And conclusions: the 500 Australian children, these were geographically, I've forgotten the word, but from across Australia, and they scored higher in pretty much everything, in every single welfare, pretty much almost every single welfare area of welfare. However, there is something that I need to point out at a later stage that has to do with this particular fact. Okay, so this, just background for this study. I have an American study. Where the fuck do I have it? I think it's Yes, this is the Biomed Central study. It's quite extensive. The only negative health effect that the children in same sex families um, had was the peer pressure, was the bullying, was the external were external effects. The only thing that were what made their welfare state, the level of welfare worse, was homophobia and transphobia coming from outside the family. Inside from the resources from within the family made them stronger, made them happier, made them perform better than their peers in opposite sex families. And then we have a report that has this is from American Psychological Association, I think it was, and there is their lesbian, gay, and bisexual concerns office, founded in 1975, and this particular study was published in 2005. So this is a bit older one. This particular study that you see now on your screen. However, I need to point out that the findings of this the end findings of this report um, make it um, make it make very similar conclusions. They are okay. Unnoted bibliography. There have been a number of studies. Okay. Um, there are a number of ones. Okay. These studies, I've linked these in the description. Okay, you can go and click them. After the stream, just don't leave the stream. Just after the stream, check them out. Okay. Anyway, there have been studies, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 studies, 7, 8, etc. And all these studies show that living in a family with same-sex parents is not harmful to a child. And these studies date back. Yes, there's the first one that I could see. I think it was from 1980. Let's see, the 1980. Okay, data collected in. Okay, let's data collected by in-depth interviews revealed that many gay fathers disclosed their homosexuality to children. All but one subject reported that their children accepted them as homosexuals, which is not really in 90 big back then, because being gay was there was a stigma, and this is probably studied. This study was conducted in, as far as I can tell from this, their children tended to be teenagers or older. Okay. Okay, and then we have from 97, 98, and we had a few from the 80s, and these these studies, none of them have said that um, uh, it's bad for the children. There are there was from the 1980 paper. There was what was the negative. It didn't really harm the children as such. They just disliked the idea that their dad was gay. Okay, um, there's been another from lesbian couples versus straight parents. This has been well looked into. Well looked into. Okay, so this is this none of these studies show that having same-sex parents is harmful to children. Okay, and here we have. Let's go back to the Australian study, which is a bit more fresher one. Okay, so in 2011, approximately 6,120 children under the age of 25 with two same-sex parents um, house with the number of same-sex households being about 19,000. There was a bigger number in the US for uh, same-sex households. I just can't remember it off the top of my head, but here we have it. It was, but it was something like, I'm not gonna throw it out because I could be mistaken, but it was maybe double that amount. Could be. Um, oh, I think it was 600,000 living in same-sex couple households, something like that. Okay, so there the surrogacy thing. It's at least commercial surrogacy. You can't take money for it in Australia. It's illegal in across the country in Australia, but at least back then. But then altruistic, as to how these same-sex couples get kids, they tend to go abroad for uh, the surrogacy, you know, to get the surrogacy pregnancy and the kid abroad, and that tends to segregate uh, from the poor ones or not so wealthy. Okay. 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 Let's go. Okay. Here are the scale score comparisons here, and you can take a look at this later if you like on your after the stream. There's the link in the description. Okay. The ethics, all procedures were approved by University of Melbourne Health Sciences Ethics Subcommittee. So 390 eligible parents made contact with the research team, with 315 completing, and it was done digitally except for 2. So for the most parts, they had 91 children of 500. That's 18 who had male index parents. 80% had female and other gendered Uh, Peter says I pronounced Melbourne. Yeah, I've heard Aussies pronounce it. So okay, so and then there was some ethnic diversity from India background and the US. Okay, let's get okay. I, I'll take that off. Let's just a moment. Okay, so um, so child health and well-being. Asthma was the most uh, widely reported condition with 13%, and prevalence was low-ish. So at 11.6%. So basically healthy. Um, okay, fully vaccinated. It was very consistent at 1, 2, and 5. Very healthy vaccination rate of 93, and 92, 93, and 89 respectively for children living in with opposite sex parents. So, what do we learn from this? We learn that same sex couples tend to vaccinate their kids better on average. 1% higher, and then 4% and 4% higher at the age of five in 2011. And 80% uh, for those under the age of 1 had breastfed. For female index parents, 96, but even for male index parent families, 22%. That's good, I think. Yeah. So here again, and here we this is what I talked about, the stigma. 2/3 of the children, for 2/3, that is 333, 67% of the kids' parents reported perceived stigma on at least one item of the so the perceived stigma was associated with worse score on physical activity scale, mental health, and family cohesion scales, and emotional symptoms. But this, again,